We all have defining moments in our lives, moments that truly shape our future and our destiny. Some of these moments we can anticipate, like graduating from high school or college. Other moments can occur unexpectedly, like the first time we see the person we marry. The birth of a child is a defining moment that alters many lives, and so is the birth of a church. December 23rd, 1824 was a defining moment because that was the day 32 people signed their names on a piece of paper and founded the Brewster Baptist Church. We're a part of this church and enjoy the spiritual vitality, meaningful relationships, and Christian service we engage in because those BBC founders had the vision, faith, courage, and generosity to step into the future. I think they'd be amazed to see the size and influence of BBC today. Another defining moment for BBC came at the turn of the last century, when we committed ourselves to a $2.4 million expansion of our facilities so that we could reach more people for Christ. Once again, it took vision, faith, courage, and generosity to step into the future, and the people who composed BBC at that time did so in a powerful way, and the church grew in numbers and ministry, and the project was completely paid for in a few years. 10 years from now, December 23rd, 2024, will mark the 200th anniversary of Brewster Baptist Church. What will our church look like when we gather for worship on Christmas Eve 2024, 200 years after our church was founded, to begin our third century? That's what our current fundraising campaign is about, making sure we have a vital, dynamic, impactful church that is sharing the love of Jesus in tangible ways with hundreds of people on the Mid to Lower Cape. Our campaign has two parts. We're trying to preserve our past, specifically the oldest part of our church building that was constructed more than 150 years ago. Work has begun on the project, which, including a 10% contingency, is estimated to cost $475,000. Thankfully, the project will be partially paid for with a $200,000 community preservation grant that was approved at town meeting. We're blessed that the citizens of Brewster see the value our church adds to the town and that they're willing to help us so generously. Not only that, but next year we'll hopefully see the expansion of our parking lot, which also will not be funded by the church. However, after the community preservation grant, we still have to pay $275,000 for the restoration work. The second part of our campaign is building our future. Last year at this time, we hired church consultant Bill Easom to work with us, and as a result he produced an extensive master report about BBC in November of 2013 that laid out key goals for us to accomplish if our church is to be as healthy and vital in 10 and 20 years as it is now. Those recommendations include a number of things that he felt were crucial to our future, including hiring a professional search firm, which was a significant investment, to help us bring on 2 staff members, someone to work in the area of children and students, and an executive pastor, who will hopefully free me up for greater outreach to the community and programs to build our attendance and congregation. I'm happy to say our search team selected 2 excellent candidates who will begin with us at the end of this summer. We've also begun a third worship service, and we're trying to increase the number of first-time and return guests. Bill's final recommendation was figuring out how we would pay for the additional staff and programming we wish to provide, and he left us with the challenge. Do we care as much for the unchurched, for the lost, the least, and the last, as we did for putting up a building at the turn of the century? Well, of course we do, and we want our church to be vital and dynamic 10 and 20 years from now. All these costs represent the remainder of our fundraising needs. To summarize, the building restoration, including the beautiful new steeple and the enhanced entrance landscaping costs, are $475,000. Fully implementing the Easom recommendations and programs, including incremental salary support for the new pastors over the next 4 years until increased attendance and giving catches up with expenses, is estimated to be between $325,000 and $425,000. These costs are reduced by our $200,000 Town Community Preservation Grant and assumed grants from the Eddy Foundation. This results in the belief that $500,000 from members and friends will be enough to allow us to fully implement our preserving our past and building our future plans while maintaining our current health and strength. So, we are stepping out in faith. 13 years ago, we moved into our expanded building. 10 years from now is our bicentennial. Can we respond to this defining moment in our history and give sacrificially, generously, and cheerfully to help BBC move strongly into the future? All of us have commitments and bills to pay. Jill and I do too, and we understand. Still, we believe so strongly in what the Lord wants us to do that we'll be giving very, very generously to this campaign. I would never ask you to make a God-sized gift without doing so myself. BBC is in the top 2% of churches in the entire United States, both in terms of our size and our age. Very, very few churches are in both those categories. Bill Easom said, "We are one of the best churches he's seen in the Northeast United States." We're part of a congregation that God has blessed and that has the favor of our community. Now is another defining moment for our church, and I need your help. I hope we'll have 100% participation and that each of us will give in proportion with our resources. Once again, it's a time for vision, faith, courage, and generosity, and I truly hope you will give to support our campaign, preserving our past, building our future.